What's up, guys, and welcome to the Effects Guy YouTube channel. My name is Tim. I am the Effects Guy. Several of you have known, I've seen some pictures, that I have been building a 1/8 scale replica of the DeLorean time machine from Back to the Future. And I thought I'd share some of that with you moving forward. So today we're going to start with issue 27. That's currently the issue that I'm on. And so I'm going to set the frame aside because we're not going to need that for very much today. Today, we're going to, again, like I said, we're going to go over issue 27. Issue 27 covers the radiator fan, the horn bracket, the horns, the radiator backs, and mounting brackets. And so, let's get started. Today I laid out my parts as I normally do in my tray here. And we have GP screws, HP screws, NM screws. We have the radiator mounting brackets, the horn bracket, the radiator fans, and the radiator back here. Now, today the only modification that I've made to this is I've painted the radiator. The radiator mounting brackets have been painted a nice gold, and that is with Model Masters number 4672. Model Masters number 4672. The bronze gold color here. It's actually brass. So I will put a link to that on below. And so let's get started. So the first step here is going to be to take the horn bracket. I'm going to actually move this out of the way so we can see. And we'll take the horn bracket here and the horn. And I'm going to need a single GP screw right there. And we will use that to mount the horn bracket to the horn. Now there is a small little lip here, and I don't think you can see it in the extended view, but you'll get it in the close-up. Is that there's a little mounting bracket pin here, and that fits just over the horn like so. And then we will pick up our little screw here, our GP screw. And whoop. A lot of times I use some pliers because these screws are extremely tiny, and there are a lot of them. Fortunately, let me actually try this here. One of these, there it is. One of these is magnetized and one is not. There we go. So we will insert that screw right there. Give it a nice little twist. A couple of turns. And I usually switch over because this is a little bit smaller of a screwdriver. Make sure to get that in tight. One thing you have to watch on these Eaglemoss models is that there are a lot of people that report online that these screws will snap. Particular screws. There aren't any in this issue that I'm worried about or aware of, but it's particularly when you're trying to screw something into metal. So we have our horn bracket there. The next step is to take the front of our vehicle, and on to the front left of the chassis is where this will mount with a NM screw. So let me reach across here. Got my MN screw, and this mounts to that hole right there. And I'm sure that you can see that pretty well, but I will show a close-up of it there as well. And so this screw goes right, if it wants to cooperate, goes right there. And we'll give it a couple turns here just to get it started. And I'll switch over to this other screwdriver here. Now, one of the ways that you can avoid having the screws snap on you is by using, and I haven't used it here yet, but I'm probably going to grab it here, is to have 3-in-1 oil. 3-in-1 oil. Give you a nice look at it here. You can find it almost any hardware store. I got this at Ace, the local Ace hardware store, but this is really a nice penetrating lubricant oil, particularly when screwing into metal. So next step is step 3, is we're going to take the radiator mounting brackets here and we're going to mount them to the chassis with 2 NM screws. So we will take NM screw 1 and NM screw 2. But like I said, the nice thing about Eaglemoss is that they include a fair number of extra screws. And so we will start with the one that mounts right here in front of the horn. And again, like I said, Eaglemoss supplies a lot of extra screws, which is really nice. I've not gone missing. Matter of fact, here, all the screws in this front bin here are AP screws that I've painted the heads on, and these are just the extras. So it just gives me a nice running to go off of with the AP screws. And we will mount the second bracket here. And we are good. All right. So next step is going to be involved mounting the fans inside the radiator back with the 2 HP screws that they've included. These HP screws have a little bit of a rounded flange on the head of the screw. It's kind of hard to see in the medium shot here, but in the close-up I'll get a shot here of this nice flange. And so we're going to move this out of the way just to give us a little bit better working surface here. And our fans will mount over the top. Actually, I have that one backwards. So there are 2 sides of this fan. You can see this one has the circle on it, but if I flip it over, it's flat. That flat side actually faces out towards the front. And so that way we don't get it screwed up by installing it backwards. Not that the interesting thing is that there's nothing on this vehicle that is anything that's considered permanent. The entire thing is mounted and put together and held together by screws. There isn't anything thus far that has involved, let me get that in there, gluing or adhering, except for the modification with some of the spark plug cables, which just the original instructions don't call for gluing them, but it just, a lot of users have found it easier to glue them in place with a wire in the front. Now see, I'm actually having some trouble here with these 2 screws, so I'm actually going to back them out and use some of that 3-in-1 oil here. Pop the cap off this. It's doesn't require much. Matter of fact, just tip it over there, get a drip, we're good. And now we will go about trying to put those back in. I've not seen a lot of modelers use third hands, at least in some of the pictures and things, but I can't imagine that it would be that bad of a thing, of an idea, because it would very much come in handy sometimes to have that third hand to just clamp something and hold it in place. I've got one upstairs. I may have to get it sometime if these continue. I don't want these videos to run too long, so I may have to get those just to stop dropping screws, because you guys don't want to sit and watch me drop and fumble screws all day. All right, so now I got that in there. We can get it screwed down nice There we go. There. See, that oil makes so much difference. That oil is very nice. And then, all right, we have our radiator fans here. We got a little bit of a spin on them. They're not going to spin on the actual car because they're stationary. But that concludes it. Actually, we don't attach the radiator fan until the next issue. So, hey, if you guys like the video, please click the like button, subscribe. I'm going to start doing these every week, so if you click and subscribe, you'll get notifications of the new ones. And I'll do a new video every week with the assembly. And so you guys can follow along with me. All right, take care. Bye, guys.